2 years ago, the U.S. women returned to the top step of the podium with a commanding performance in Paris. Now, with eyes on a home Olympics in Los Angeles, 2 members of the Paris team are back, competing in Phoenix where national titles are on the line. Among them, Jade Carey, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist who said this event in her hometown was a motivator to return. And Heslie Rivera, now a veteran and looking for her second straight all-around title. Women's Day 1 of competition starts right now. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. We bring you inside Mortgage Matchup Center here in Phoenix, the most important annual event in American gymnastics. And hi everybody, Terry Gannon along with Lori Hernandez and Sam Pescic. Big part of that American legacy through the years, and it continued that greatness in Paris with that team gold medal for the American women. So we look ahead to Los Angeles now, and so many stars throughout the year, Sam, have been produced. We start to find out who those are for LA, and there are some familiar names there.
Yeah, 2 Olympic champions are competing this weekend, Jade Carey, Heslie Rivera. Jade Carey is going for her 3rd Olympic Games, although she won't be at full strength this weekend. Just by talking to her, you can feel how comfortable, how confident she is in herself, in her gymnastics, and that level of maturity is why I think she's going to be better than she's ever been before. Then you have Heslie Rivera, the youngest face at the Paris Games, and although, guys, she does have an Olympic gold medal, she told me she has unfinished business. And you can see that by the way that she's attacking her gymnastics and the difficulty she's added this past year. She's certainly a favorite to win this U.S. Championships again.
And Lori, there are other big names who are either coming back or may come back. We'll have to wait and see. But for others, this is the time to make a name for yourself.
Absolutely. We've got some newbies, some fresh faces that you might not be familiar with. Claire Peace and Charlie Bullock. Now, Claire Peace has some of the highest all-around scores that we're going to see this weekend at this competition. And as for Charlie Bullock, she's got the highest uneven bar star value that Team USA has seen this year. And get this, this is her first time as a senior gymnast. She's just 16 years old. So for these 2 athletes, I firmly believe that they can keep up with the veterans and even surpass them at some point.
That time maybe is right now to do just that. There's another name you have to add to the list when you're thinking about those with a chance in LA. We send it over to John Roethlisberger. John, you have to mention Sky Blakely.
You know it, Terry. In 2024, Sky Blakely stood on the doorstep at the Olympic trials of making her dream come true. She was a virtual lock for that team. All she needed to do was be her average self and stay healthy. Well, unfortunately, in training for those trials, she suffered a torn right Achilles tendon, and that dream, that lifelong dream, was ripped from her grasp. Well, a day later, she said, I will be back. And guess what, y'all? She is back, and for the first time since 2024, she will compete the all-around at a U.S. championship. She is the ultimate story of determination and resiliency, and I'll tell you what, she is someone that all American sports fans can truly get behind.
Love when John calls us y'all. But you are absolutely right, John. It is a great story to this point, and she's trying to make it better and better. That resiliency that she has shown and determined, because I remember that moment when she was injured, and it was heartbreaking.
It was absolutely heartbreaking, and as y'all have said, there we go with the y'all. But as y'all have said, I firmly believe that she was going to be on that Olympic team. So the fact that she's back has me so excited for this card.
And she will get us underway here. It is day 1 of the competition. There are 2 days to this national championship for the women and the men, who kicked things off last night here in Phoenix. So over on uneven bars, getting those set right now. The thoughts right now, what do you think as an all-around now coming back that way here at Nationals?
Well, you can just look in her eyes and see the intensity, and you can actually see her talking to herself. She told us she does a lot of positive affirmations. It's really good to just fill your head with anything positive so you don't think about how nervous you are.
She's also talked about in the past how she wanted to have a lot of control over her competitions, and as she's gotten older, she's decided, you know what, it's time for me to let go, release that control, and just go with the flow. So it's been really exciting to see her growth as an athlete and as a person, and once again, I think that shows in her gymnastics as well, and hopefully that's something we'll see in a few moments.
This is a big routine for her too, you guys. The uneven bar, she was a finalist at the last World Championships here, and somebody that the powers that be want to see this routine again on the team at the World Championships later this fall.
Well, she has a huge start value, and that's an incredible asset for Team USA. So this routine right here is incredibly important for USA Gymnastics. Good combinations. Anytime athletes can connect skills, they actually increase their start value, making it even more difficult. That's a good thing.
Something Sky does so well on this event is her flow. She's got good flow and good rhythm on this routine. Let's see if she can hold that to the dismount. Let's go, Sky Blakely, everybody, she's back.
It looks incredibly easy for her. The way that she was able to finish her twist before her feet hit the mat, she made it look really easy, and guys, that's incredibly difficult.
Part of the road of this comeback, the U.S. Classic a few weeks ago. She won bars and beam and gets things started the right way here.
What I love about her release moves is how stretched her arms are when she catches the bar. You want to see the athletes have that extension before they re-grab, and she does a phenomenal job of that.
Coach loves it. Crowd loves it. See what the judges think in a little bit as we kick things off here in Phoenix. So over to Charlie Bullock, the 2025 U.S. Junior Uneven Bars champ, and getting set on vault. This is a name I asked you tonight. All right, give me one name that maybe we're not thinking of this one.
I think she's going to shock everyone, and again, the fact that she's a first-year senior, absolute monster Yurchenko double full. She had so much power that that's going to be quite the landing deduction. However, it just shows that she's got that much power, and she's just got to learn how to control it and how to hone it in a way that really supports her. It's a great sign to see that.
That's a new vault for her. Yurchenko double to round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table, 2 twists in the air, and Lori, you said it. She had a lot of lift off that table, which is what you want to see, but you want to open your arms sooner so that she can find the landing. That's really where the experience comes. The lack of experience with that vault, I should say.
Good to see Risa Sponda next, coming off a big win at the U.S. Classic, as we check in with Brittany Urton.
That she did, Terry, and if you asked her if she expected it, she would have said definitely not. She told me she was treating competition just like any other day in the gym, but has felt her confidence building each day thanks to her coach and the work put in, and perhaps a timely message from someone special. Yeah, none other than Simone Biles. The two have known each other for a while. It goes back to their gym in Texas. And while Simone was away on vacation, she sent Reese a small reminder. A text saying, believe in yourself. Use your power as an advantage. Controlled power is everything. And being such a powerful tumbler, that resonated with Reese, and it's something Simone has helped her with over the years. So she's got confidence and the GOAT in her corner.
Writing this down. Controlled power is everything. I like that. Here she is, getting set, the 17-year-old from Montana.
Doing the exact same vault as Charlie. Yurchenko double full.
She was able to do this incredibly well at Classics. Look at that stuck landing.
That's like a parallel parking at full speed, just stopping exactly where you need to go. No adjustments there.
Come on, parallel park.
I've never parallel parked like that. I don't know about you, Terry.
Well, look at her arms on the table. They were really straight. She pushes through her shoulders. That's called a block. And you can tell if you get a good block, the vault is going to be great as well.
And that's big for Reese, too. Making the world team. She is tremendous on vault, tremendous on floor, and that is something that Team USA has always had, is a good floor vaulter.
All right, over to the U.S. all-around champ from last year, 18-year-old Hesley Rivera.
Opens full twisting double layout.
say that's a pretty great start to this competition for Heslie Rivera. That last tumbling pass, it looked like her legs maybe gave out a little bit. Sometimes that can happen with slower endurance, if you will. But take a look at this first pass. We're seeing a full twisting double layout. She spots the ground right there and is able to have very minimal landing deductions.
Yeah, first 2 passes were solid on the landings. She's been working on those details. It was right here, though, that 2.5. Her legs looked like gave out on her a little bit, had to take a deep bend. That will be a significant deduction.
Part of that U.S. gold medal in Paris at the age of 16 after that breakout season in 2024. All right, how about the numbers on bars for Sky Blakely? 14.2. It's in green, which means it's good.
Absolutely, 14.2. That's a score that we are hoping to see here this weekend. It's a great sign.
Same number, 14.2 for Risa Sponda, who is underway here. So are we. Waiting on Jade Carey. She'll start on beam. The 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity sticks the landing every time. Same day Wi-Fi, same price for 5 years. By Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. And by Tampax. Warm outside here in Phoenix. Inside Mortgage Matchup Center. Day 1 underway. Heslie Rivera, even 14 on floor exercise.
Seen a lot of 14s at this competition, which is incredibly exciting. That is a number that we definitely want to see.
She's the reigning floor champ as well as the reigning all-around champ here at the U.S. Championship. All right, here's one of those names to watch. 18 years of age from Washington, Simone Rose on beam.
I love the way she does this event. Truly all 4 of her events, she looks like she is attacking the equipment. She brings her personality, not just to her artistry, but also to all of her skills.
Well, that is always a standout skill for me, a triple wolf turn. And I watched her do about 3 in warm-up. They all looked just like that. But the key for Simone on beam is to be aggressive. Some athletes like a slower rhythm, but when Simone is at her best, you can just see she is attacking the equipment. This is her first big test. And layout, triple series. She actually fell on that at the last meet, U.S. Classics. Good save there.
What I want to see from her for the rest of the routine is just that she's able to keep things moving, to go smoothly from one skill into the next and not let that big wobble sort of domino into the next for the rest of her routine. So your beam is a really difficult event to start on for a competition like this. All your nerves are at their peak.
Good save. Again, you could see her on the left side of the mat. Had to adjust quickly at the end there.
Nerves at their peak and a small margin for error. Earlier, one of those names to watch, again, an 18-year-old and starting to make a name for herself, Jayla Hang on balance beam, but here with an injury, been dealing with a wrist injury, so this is her only event, balance beam.
Last year at the U.S. Championships, she won a bronze medal on this event. And this is her first competition of the year. We won't see this routine at full strength, but it's always good to get back into competition shape by competing in front of a crowd. Incredibly tough to simulate that environment in your home gym.
I say this all the time, there's something to be said for hitting that routine when the pressure's on and the time counts.
Very nice side aerial layout step out. That is an upgraded skill. Head coach Cale Robinson told me that he expects all of her skills and routines to be back within a month. She's still very much in that building stage because of the injury, so that's why we're only going to see her here on beam and, of course, not full strength yet on this event. Just a layout dismount. Nicely done.
Surgery back in October, but then a second surgery to take the screw out because it wasn't set well, wasn't feeling good. and still coming back. 13:05 for Hang. How about Caroline Moreau, a 16-year-old from Keller, Texas, and first year as a senior gymnast. Won the U.S. Junior All-Around title back in 2025.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. Wow.
Saw her stick that in the warm-up. She took a small hop here, but this is one of those events for her where she just knows exactly where she is in the air. We're seeing that 13.9 as a score. Really, that's from the difficulty, because we can tell execution's coming from that 10.0, which would be perfect. Difficulty is how tough is it, and it's a bit on the lower side for what we'll be seeing this weekend. That execution's gorgeous. You won't see a lot of 9.3s, that's for sure.
How about the number for Simone Rose on beam? It's in green. We're just giving you the guidance there. Green, you want to be in that. Yellow's the middle, and red, you don't want to be there. 13.1.
Yeah, you see the green score for her, but the difficulty is much lower than we expect her to do. She might increase that difficulty for day 2, and when she is on, she is phenomenal on balance beam.
All right, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-time world champ. We saw her star in Tokyo, in Paris, took a break from elite gymnastics, and back again, Jade Carey in her hometown of Phoenix.
You're going to notice something different about the way that Jade Carey works beam. She is incredibly patient on all of her skills, which is tough to teach a young athlete, but someone as seasoned as Jade really sinks into the beam.
I also think because she knows how to have such high difficulty on vault and floor, it means that her air awareness has to be fantastic, and that plays a huge role in this event for her. Almost had a really big wobble after that first skill, but because of her experience out there, she's able to just stay calm and keep things moving.
Setting up for her series, back handspring layout. You can see she just lands gingerly on the beam. Something that Jade always is striving to work towards is full extension on those leaps and the artistry, which is the transitions between the skills. Judges are looking for that 180, beyond 180 split. Finishing handspring, double back. A good hit routine. She's got one under her belt. This is just a stepping stone towards a lot more of her goals, hopefully later this year, Terry.
And best events still to come tonight. Vault and floor, 2 of those for her.
Yeah, I do think when it comes to bars and beam, those are 2 events that Jade has worked incredibly hard on to both up the difficulty, but really focus on that execution. See here, she spots the beam and just stays incredibly calm. Steady is a word I would assign to Jade easily.
And maybe more confident than ever.
I think so. Just the way that she carries herself, and she doesn't seem worried about what others think of her, and she's just heads down doing her own program, and that's, to me, somebody that's going to find a lot of success this year.
Over to floor exercise, and a name you guys mentioned, Claire Peace, the 17-year-old from Sunnyvale, Texas, who has a chance perhaps at the all-around title. She won it at the Pan American Championships earlier this season.
And she showed more difficulty on that routine and right here than any of the finalists on Floor World Championships. One step out of bounds means 1/10 deduction.
But too much power, too much adrenaline here.
Her leaps are very much overextended. No question mark on whether she hit that 180 mark.
Absolutely gorgeous.
one of the most difficult floor routines you're going to see this weekend. That was incredible.
I love the way she was able to take that step on the landing and turn it into a pose. That's something that you'll see so many incredible athletes do, really, is just to cover those mistakes with beauty and with grace. And that's, Claire is just able to do that by instinct. Here we've got that big step out of bounds, but she didn't let that carry into other passes.
And that overextension switch ring gets her head fully back.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Finishes really strong here. You see the leg separation. Judges will be looking for that as well, but she lands perfectly upright, really minimizing deduction on those landings. Job well done for Claire Peace.
Came in last year as one of the top contenders, but it didn't go as planned. 10th in the all-around, but a better season so far this year. Certainly has the ability. As we take you to the score for Jade Carey, 13.1 on balance beam. Some of her best events still to come here. Day one and the championships. Xfinity U.S. Championships underway here in Phoenix for the women, day one. And Claire Peace with the floor exercise 13.55. So that is one of 4 rotations in the books here for the women. This is how it stands. Risa Sponda, Sky Blakely tied at the top. Charlie Bullock, Leslie Rivera, share of third as Brittany has a special guest.
Oh, that I am. She is that girl. She needs no introduction. Jordan Childs joining me. This has got to be different for you, though. What is it like being a fan in comparison to actually competing?
I mean, honestly, it's definitely different. Coming out of my collegiate season, being at championships without competing is a little weird, but you know what? I'm so proud of every single person that's out here. I mean, Sky and Jade, especially Jade coming back, Sky coming out of her college career. It's just really cool to see everybody do their job. I'm having fun.
What do you miss most about it?
I don't know. I mean, as an athlete, we love being, very competitive. We love being around our friends and seeing, what we got within each other. So I think just being on the competition floor for sure.
Well, you talk about comebacks, 3 of the 5 from Paris 2024. You said we'll have to wait and see about your comeback. Have you made a decision yet?
I mean, the wait is still on. I definitely am going on a lot of vacations, so stay tuned for that. But I mean, I think right now my mind is just focusing on me personally, mentally, and the wait is still on.
And we'll wait for that decision hopefully soon, coming from Jordan Childs, if the comeback is actually on. Thanks so much.
Didn't want to break any news tonight at championships, I guess. Rotation 2 coming up next from Phoenix.
This has been the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report.
Back to tell you this week on Sunday Night Baseball, Jordan Alvarez and the Astros heading to San Diego to take on Fernando Tatis Jr. and the Padres. The interleague showdown in SoCal, only on NBC and Peacock. Beautiful there, beautiful here outside. A little warm in Phoenix. Getting set for rotation 2 here, night 1 for the women. Leslie Rivera, share of third place after the opening rotation. So we're going to see her coming up on vault. This is the one event, guys, she did not win at the U.S. Championships a year ago.
Well, she's doing a Yurchenko double full. We've seen that from some of the athletes across the competition, but the key for her here is to stay really clean. What I mean by that is straight legs, legs glued together, flat, open hip position, no hinge at her hips. Judges want to see that stretched body.
I was thinking about Charlie Bullock's extra high execution score, and what I found was that in the air, she is dead straight. All of her deductions came from landing. It was really difficult to find those deductions throughout the entire skill and in the air. And so when we're looking at Leslie's vault, we're seeing, can she stay pencil straight in the air? Can she get a block like we saw Charlie do? Can she get that height and the distance away from the table and land with minimal deductions? And I definitely think that's something Leslie is capable of doing, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, something interesting too about vault here at this competition, a lot of the same vaults, a lot of these Yurchenko double fulls. And so if the athlete wants to differentiate themselves for the all-around or a world team, they're going to probably have to do it on the other 3 events. This one, a lot of similarity.
But minimizing deductions is key. Hesley Rivera can do that. Extremely clean. Just that hop forward. So she was a little under-rotated, but really good job getting her chest up quickly on the landing.
Yeah, I thought that was a great position in the air. I would have liked to see a little bit of a stronger block off the table right here. Slightly closed shoulders, but I'm being nitpicky.
Yeah, you want to wait to twist off the table in order to have enough height to continue to keep going up off the table to finish in that vertical position. That's where you saw it under-rotated.
And that is your job, by the way. To be nitpicky. I mean, it's the way it goes.
I got my binoculars on.
Hesley been dealing with a hamstring injury that she aggravated on vault at the Pan American Championships. Did not compete at the U.S. Classic recently. Over the bars, and the 16-year-old Charlie Bullock, who was great in the opening.
And this is a routine to watch for. We talk about Sky Blakely being great on this event, but this young athlete right here has a bigger start value. She is going to be a star right here.
With such a high start value, you gotta wonder, can she be consistent? Can she hit? With minimal execution issues, and so far so good, just a few missed handstands.
She added some difficulty here and handling it no problem. Gets her chest up on the ground, stuck the landing. That is going to be a big score. Man, she wants to go to World Championships, guys.
Let me tell you, I think her chance is high.
Yeah, that is gonna help, Sam. That's big time.
Gets her toes up, legs glued together till the end there, knew exactly where she was. Man, she just connects a lot more of those skills, which really increases her difficulty. She has the highest difficulty start value in the U.S. right now.
All right, over to floor exercise a moment ago. Izzy Stassi, the 17-year-old from Delaware, Ohio, rising freshman at the University of Oklahoma. Saw her a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Classic, where she came in 5th in the all-around.
Opens with a double-double, 2 flips, 2 twists. Hop out of bounds, though. That's going to be a deduction. NCAA gymnastics fans out there might recognize some of this choreography. Head coach KJ Kindler from Oklahoma choreographed it, and she has a very specific and unique style that Izzy is showcasing here. Wanted this routine to be sassy, wanted it to be fierce.
What, 8 national championships there? Oklahoma, I think?
Yeah, they're pretty good,
yeah.
Terry. Some good, clean, tumbling passes, a lot of difficulty in that routine.
Did a great job with those landings, except for that first pass. We're seeing 3/10 deduction for both feet.
7.95 for execution, 13.05 overall. Hesley Rivera for vault, 14.2. There you go.
Now on floor for Pacific Ring, Simone Rose.
So well done on vault. Floor exercise with Simone Rose.
Her gymnastics and her artistry really just has so much personality, as I said earlier about her. Take a look.
Stumbled on that punch. Great save on that first pass. She could have easily had a fall there, which would have been 1 point, saved herself there. Missed the punch on these connection tumbling passes.
The quad connection passes are getting rewarded. So we're seeing a lot more of them, but the reason why they're so difficult is because of that timing. The timing has to be perfect, one skill into the next.
She's competed a lot this year, so getting back into floor routine, conditioning shape takes some work to peak at the right time. But her goal is to make it to World Championships, Terry, so she wants to get another meet under her belt.
That international experience earlier this season, though, the Pan American Championships, won 3 medals there, including that team gold. Rising freshman at the University of Florida. Great program there as well. Uneven bars for Charlie Bullock, 14.25.
Yeah, that 6-2 difficulty score is huge. One of the best in the country right now, and certainly one of the best in the world.
Claire Peace in 9th place after the opening rotation over to vault, and she will have 2 vaults tonight.
Opening with Yurchenko double full. Vault we've seen from a lot of the athletes here tonight. Really trying to finesse her way out of that landing.
You know, you saw her peek her head over and just keep it moving.
We're looking for straight arms on the table, athletes to wait before they twist, and I think we're seeing that adrenaline come to them because they're not realizing in the air just how high they are. You want to open your arms just a little sooner to find the landing.
So I'm sure you dealt with this as well, but I always found that when I had so much adrenaline, I just ran so much faster, I had so much more power, and sometimes if you don't plan for that beforehand, it can really turn into an avalanche. It's a snowball. You know, your round off goes a little too fast, you come into the table too quick, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh my goodness, the landing is here.
A lot of people watching vault might think it's always better to run faster. That's not really the case. You want to run more controlled, so as fast as you can run, but in a controlled way, Terry.
Controlled power. I've heard that somewhere.
Hey, the GOAT, Simone Biles, may have mentioned that.
So there's the number, 13.95 for the opening vault. Individual apparatus titles on the line this week as well. For vault, you do 2 of them.
This vault right here is called a Lopez. It's actually the foundation of a much more difficult skill, much more difficult vault she's been working towards.
That was gorgeous. Unfortunately, quite a few landing deductions there, but if we're taking a look at this as the first step into getting that Chung vault that we've seen Simone Biles, Jade Carey compete, adding a full twist to the vault that we just saw, she's ready.
Simone Rose on floor exercise, 7.5 for execution, so 12.7 the overall number. And we're going to keep it on floor exercise, and the Tokyo Olympic floor gold medalist, Jade Carey, getting set to go. She's yet to win floor exercise at the U.S. Championships, though. She'd love to do that.
This first pass, you're going to see double layout, full in, 2 twist, 1 twist, 2 flips, and she even extended her hips at the end, which is money. She has such great air awareness on all of her skills. Her timing on her punch is just so spot on. So the tumbling is not difficult for her, but again, similar to Beam, she's been working on increasing the artistry, increasing her extension on those leaps. Bouncing out of that double back. You have to assume that she's got some more upgrades in the bank, so mistimed that one just slightly. She's laughing about it, though.
That's a big routine for her, as we talked about, to make a world team, and that's where she stands out. But I think Lori, I think she looks exceptionally better than U.S. Classic just a few weeks ago, and I think that's the key for her as she makes this comeback, getting better week by week, hopefully peaking at possibly a world championship.
Yeah, this routine is 3/10 higher than that routine, John, so you're right. But you see those hip positions, you don't want to see your hips hinge down, and she actually overextends them, which is what the judges are looking for. They want to see that open body shape, Lori.
And it's beautiful. Here on this last pass, look at this rebound. Gosh, you know what I would do to rebound out of a fourth pass, while competing. But Jade just has so much firepower within her. We were talking about air awareness earlier, and to elaborate more on what that actually means, it's being in the air, knowing how much of the skill is left, knowing how to maneuver your body, where your feet are, where your head is, being able to spot the ground. There's a lot of multitasking, both mentally and physically, that goes into air awareness, and that's why Jade is just incredible.
Guys, well, we have a moment. We check out the Prevagen memorable moment, and pretty special one, because it was on this day back in 2012. Allie Raisman won gold on floor at the London Olympics.
Yeah, what an iconic floor routine. Had so much confidence throughout this routine. And
I just remember watching
her
this.
teammate?
Yeah, I remember watching this routine. I was 12 years old at the time and had no idea we would be on team together 4 years later, but I just adored watching her gymnastics. She had such power and strength and grace. I mean, you name it.
Prevagen memorable moment, a pretty good one there as the number comes in 13.75 for Jade Carey.
You see a little low execution score. You got to assume that's from that last pass. Difficulty is average for Jade Carey. She certainly can increase that score.
Over to balance beam, and Sky Blakely getting set.
Between bars and beam, these are Sky's two strongest events out of the four.
Yeah, in comparison to the rest of the world, our difficulty on this event right here, balance beam, is actually on the weaker side. So Sky Blakely, not only can she be an incredible asset on the uneven bars, but right here is where Team USA would utilize her on any team she's on, especially for big skills like this right here, standing tuck pull.
Wow. Sorry, guys. That was a wow for me.
That was a wow. No, I said it with you
okay.
in my head.
All of her skills, this one is incredibly tough as well. Front handspring, front tuck. She lands really high on the beam, not quite as patient, absorbing the beam on the landings there, showing a little bit of nerves.
Yeah, a lot of these wobbles, I really do think they're nerves, because we watched her practice and nail a lot of these, but it's also a testament to her difficulty.
The key on beam is no hesitation. You got to go full out every single time. Looks like she's getting into her groove, finding her rhythm now. Great job finishing. Won't get the initial connection of that front aerial into the jump. One of the high performance leads, Betty Aquino, said we need more difficulty in connections and to be able to stay on the beam to compete with those other countries. Sky Blakely can do that for Team USA.
Here we've got that tuck full. See how right here she spots the beam. Unfortunately, just a little bit off, and it's 4 inches that you're working with.
Look at her arms all the way through here. You can see her left arm actually crosses to the right side of her body. Your arms are like a steering wheel, so it's very important that both of your arms are on equal opposite sides of the beam to keep your balance steady.
Right, with that, your arms have to be utilized. A lot of times I think gymnasts tend to forget or misplace them, and that's something that typically Sky does very well.
Part of the process, though, for her, working her way back towards the Olympics this time, and certainly really important here at the National Championships. Risa Sponda share first place after that opening rotation, getting set on uneven bars. Coming up, a look at that, which took place a short time ago. So all that momentum after the win at the U.S. Classic, she said, yeah, it does bring more pressure, but I'm trying to turn that into confidence now.
Yeah, and this event right here doesn't have quite as much difficulty as her other events, so I was gonna say execution is key. You could see her arms bend and fight for that. That's really the big significant deductions the judges are gonna be looking for in this routine.
Yeah, straight arms, open shoulders, that's exactly what you want to see throughout that bar routine. And you know, sometimes the speed can just get away from you. Once you miss a handstand, it flows into the next skill, but she's got that 13-1, she's in the green.
It is that time for an athlete. You get that win, and now the attention comes, and that pressure does come. So that, a little while ago, over 2 bars once again. Caroline Moreau, the 16-year-old, was born in Chicago and now based in Texas.
Coached by Kim Zmeskal, Olympian and 91 world all-around champion. And I had a chance to talk to Kim about Caroline, and she said her secret power is that she's so even-keeled. She doesn't feel any pressure, and that is really a superpower, Lori, especially in big events like this.
And you can tell just by the way that she's swinging right now. Cool as a cucumber, one skill, smoothly going into the next right here.
And she's sending it. Look how aggressive her handstands are all the way to vertical. Judges want to see those handstands at 12 o'clock.
This is a lovely routine so far.
Nicely done.
It's just fantastic the way she's able to also carry herself as a first-year senior. I feel like she's been competing with the big dogs forever, and yet she's just 16.
So the number for Sky Blakely, 7.55 execution, 13.75 for beam.
Which, considering those big bobbles, that's a pretty good score for this event. And that's all because her difficulty is so high. So the execution, yes, was lower, but difficulty does come in to save you. It's a cushion.
Put Sky into third place. Short time ago, Tatum DeRouche from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And over on vault. American Classic earlier this season. First in the all-around, first in the beam. So also building momentum.
Really good body position in the air on the Yurchenko 1.5. Finishes in a blind landing, so sometimes that can be tricky, but the execution is above a 9.0, and on vault, that is a really solid execution score. Remember, execution is out of that perfect 10.
All right, a little while ago, over on balance beam, the 18-year-old from Frisco, Texas, Zoe Malomo. Coming back off of a knee injury that took her out for the entire, well, almost the entire 2025 season.
She's an athlete that across the board doesn't quite have the difficulty as maybe some of the top athletes in this competition, but what you'll notice about her is just how clean and aesthetic her gymnastics is top to bottom.
Now on floor for Oregon State, Olympian Jade Carey.
Almost floats in the air, landing so softly on the beam. Really beautiful.
That acro is so difficult to do a half turn in the air and keep that momentum moving into a back layout. It's so easy to make a mistake and to go off the sides of the beam, and she just did that with more grace than I've seen anyone do so far.
On all of her landings, she's keeping her knees bent just a smidge longer. That's really helping her keep her balance. And of course, right there, she wobbled, and that's because she stood up and did not bend her knees. Unfortunately, she broke that connection as well.
And it's tough because if a connection gets broken, it also means that the execution goes down. Technically, you know, if it was perfect, the connection should be no issue.
A good double back dismount to finish things off for Zoe.
It was a big knee injury, ACL and meniscus surgery for her, coming back from that 12.75. And Caroline Moreau on uneven bars. There's the execution, 13.4, that number. Solid.
I'd be
Meanwhile-
really proud of that bar routine.
Yeah, right? No doubt about it. All right, the 18-year-old from Spring, Texas, Dulcie Kaler, getting set on uneven bars.
She told us a goal on bars is to keep her execution score in the mid to low 8 range. So really focusing on making this very clean. Rhythm is key for Dulcie Kaler, and she's starting off strong here, really having the same momentum from top to bottom with all of her skills. Good distance away from the bar on the catch there with that Jaeger.
Missed a pirouette. You saw her hand turn, but her body didn't go over the bar. Unfortunately, that is going to cost her execution score. But I'm proud that she kept it moving. She could have come completely off the event and stepped off.
Working her way back from a back injury that took her away from competition for some 3 months. And committed to go to Florida, but gonna wait till LA is done. As we roll on here, look ahead to rotation number 3, day 1 for the women at the championships. Back to remind you, summer's #1 show is back for the ultimate competition. Don't miss an all-new America's Got Talent coming your way Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. Midway through the Xfinity U.S. Championships here in Phoenix, Charlie Bullock, that name up there atop the leaderboard right now. Hezli Rivera, the defending champ, right behind Sky Blakely. You know the story. We've talked about her, certainly one of those in the mix. Less than 2 years from now in LA at the Olympics. Terry Gannon back with Lori Hernandez and Sam Pashik. You mentioned the name. I'm going to give you credit. Charlie Bullock leading the way right now.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about Charlie Bullock. Even though she has done some of her best events so far, and we've still got half the competition to go, I like to think that it's her first year as a senior. She's gone out and absolutely shined. The pressure's on. She hit when it counted, and I'm just so proud of her.
I don't want to rein in your enthusiasm, but Hezli Rivera still has 2 of her best events to go.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, she does. She absolutely does.
Anything surprise you so far, Sam?
Not really. Everything's working out. The top 6 are exactly who I expected it to be. Charlie in first place is phenomenal, but she just finished her best event, the event that she has the most amount of separation in that difficulty score. So I'm interested to see if she can keep that lead and keep the execution high on her other events. That would really surprise me and be a really pleasant, I guess, surprise for this field.
So far, so good for Sky Blakely, and Hezli Rivera trying to go back-to-back here, all-around titles at the U.S. National Championships, this time here in Phoenix. Midway through opening day here at the U.S. Championships for the women in Phoenix, and in 5th back in 2025 in the all-around, Simone Rose, one of the young stars, the 18-year-old, will get things started on vault here in rotation 3. So we've been talking a little bit about the World Championship team as well, trying to make this a big part of that, but there's also a selection camp coming up at the end of September too. So you got to earn your way, not just one way, what you do here, but also there.
Oh yeah, there's a few different stages, Terry. We wouldn't want to make it easy for these athletes. They want to put a lot of pressure on them so that they're not nervous. And this right here is a couple of the selection committee athletes, 2 high performance leads there. That's who these athletes are really trying to impress.
Yeah, and if you're watching these athletes and you're thinking about scores, I know if you're at home, you're like, what's good? What's a good score? Is a 13 good? Is a 14 good? You mentioned it earlier, Lori, just how good a 14 is. A 14, you see a 14 go up, that's a positive. That's a big-time score. At the last World Championships in the qualification rounds, only 18 scores rather, of 14 or better. So that's a big number.
Simone Rose on vault.
Yurchenko 1.5. Wow. Really couldn't have done that much better. Good pop off the table, nice body shape. Not quite as much difficulty in this vault, so it was really crucial that her execution score should be high.
Just love the way that she's able to sense where the ground is and take very minimal landing deductions.
Wait for that number. Brittany, do you have more?
Well, sometimes being an elite athlete means you'll miss out on major life events. Because of an international conflict, well, I should say a conflict with an international competition, Simone Rose with both her prom and high school graduation. Disappointing, of course, but her gym, Pacific Rain, had a surprise in store for her. Before she left, they gave her a graduation ceremony of her own, a cap and gown, as you can see. It's got to be green, of course, with the Florida Gator on the cap. She walked across the mats in front of her fellow gymnasts, started the Gator Chomp, yes, and received a diploma and flowers. Threw her cap in the air, just truly got the full experience. She told me she immediately started crying. It was a special moment she never expected and one she'll never forget.
As we look at the number 13-8, you guys know it very well. You miss some things when you're a gymnast.
Absolutely. I was homeschooled from the 3rd grade all the way up until I graduated high school, and there's so much sacrifice that goes into the process of trying to make an Olympic team. All of it happens when you're so young, and we're seeing here that Simone has had her experiences with that, and it's so wonderful that her gym has honored how important outside of gymnastics life.
Over to vault, and Jade Carey will be doing 2 of those. She's an Olympic medalist on vault.
Starting off with an easy Yurchenko double. Did you see how quick she was able to get those twists around? Well, that's because she has more in the tank there. Look at when she finishes the twist. So a lot of people finish right before their feet hit the ground. She actually finishes 2 twists before her body makes it past the vault table. That is phenomenal.
She has the luxury of time in the air. When do you ever get time in gymnastics?
Well,
and in the air.
And in the air.
Yeah, she's pretty good on vault, I'd say. In Paris, the Olympic bronze medal, world title back in 2022, a couple of U.S. titles as well.
Her next vault is also going to be a foundation vault for her. Same one that Claire Peace did and Sky Blakely will do. It's called a Lopez.
It's that round off half onto the table and then half off. Typically what we're seeing Jade do at her highest difficulty is the Chung vault, doing that 1.5 twist off the table.
And that's a hugely valuable vault. The Chung you had mentioned, Lori, that starts at a 15.6. You can see that one right there, a 15.0. So any of these athletes, including Jade Carey, Claire Peace, that can get that vault together by the time they have that world selection camp, it's a huge advantage to them.
Well, a Chung is the same vault that Simone Biles competed, so we know how much of a difficulty advantage she adds when she does it.
Yeah, easy.
Great job. Sometimes it's tough to find the landing when you're doing foundation skills, but she does a really good job knowing exactly where she is.
I'm gonna say it. She missed the block a little bit on the table right there. Her shoulders were quite close, so she didn't get the height or the distance that we saw in that first vault, the Yurchenko double full. However, obviously, no issues at all for Jade Carey.
And you got to be careful. Her hands were staggered a little bit, Lori, and the judges are going to hit you on that if you don't have your hands exactly even coming off that vault table.
All right, short time ago, over on balance beam, Reese Esponda in 5th place after the 2nd rotation, so right there in the mix.
She's coming off of a really great U.S. Classics, put together a complete meet. She actually said that her beam score was the best that she's ever gotten. So the key for her is to repeat that here. Man, it's always tough to start off with a wobble. The key for her is to just stay in the moment, forget about that little wobble so that one little mistake does not turn into 2 or 3, Terry.
Once that doubt sets in, Sam.
Exactly, and knowing that she won U.S. Classic a few weeks ago, her body's physically ready for this competition.
Oh.
You see her hips facing sideways on the beam. They really need to be forward and square. That really will help her land and continue to stay balanced.
This routine is absolutely a mental game for her.
You actually could see her slow down a little bit. I'm willing to bet that in her mind, she's going through her mental cues. I can do this, really trying to reinforce that positive self-talk. Well, we saw the nerves come into play on that beam routine, but really finished strong with a stuck double pike.
So the execution 7-1-5, 12-3-5 overall for beam for Reese Espondo. We saw Jade Carey over on vault. John, you got more?
Yeah, we talked about coming onto that vault table on that Lopez vault, and she does a half turn from the vault board onto the vault table. And one thing the judges have really started to kind of crack down on in this vault is the hand position on the table. You can see they come on almost a little 1-2, not both at the same time, but they're also staggered. They're not square in a straight line, if you will, and that is something that she will definitely incur a deduction. Shouldn't lose the value of the vault. And this is a great look at it right here. This is one hand quite a bit higher than the other hand. Could be a 3/10 deduction on that, but again, it's still worth it. Do the Chung vault, get the 15.6 start value, and it's still, with that deduction, worth doing.
Brittany was watching intensely, though. That was a good look right there, right on top of it. Up close look.
I think she wants to give it a shot.
I'll think again.
John, you know, difficulty wins meets,
You're
and
right.
that's what the goal right now. We're a couple years away from the Olympics, so it's really important that these athletes are pushing the difficulty at this stage to make sure they're comfortable by the time the Olympics comes around.
Yeah, and that's one thing, Sam, really frustrates me about women's gymnastics. If you watch the World Championships, it's almost impossible. It's impossible on the three apparatus, excluding vault, to get a 9 in execution.
Wait, right, yes.
And it's really frustrating to see that, because you can't win with execution. You got to do the big skills, and we've seen it for years, and I think we're going to keep seeing it.
As Sky Blakely steps up, live look at her floor exercise routine now.
First time at a U.S. championship since 2024. We talked about that Achilles tear at the Olympic trials in 2024. This is a big moment for her.
Yeah, big moment, John, because she changed her floor routine to do all front tumbling passes. She said it's a lot easier on her feet. When you tumble backwards, there's a lot more torque, and it's a lot more high impact on your body, so she's making it a little bit easier for herself there. This is her first time experimenting with it.
It's definitely for her.
But again, you notice those leaps, just how beautifully extended they are. She's been competing this floor routine all year long with her NCAA team, the Florida Gators, and it's always been a fierce routine for her. You can see that in her movements as well. Of course, artistry being such an important part of the floor routines now. Had a little hiccup on that last pass, but overall, I mean, I think an experiment well done.
It's really incredible to do all tumbling passes going forward. That's not everyone's cup of tea. However, we know that on beam, she does that for handspring front tuck. She's very comfortable with those front landings, oftentimes blind landings. You know, we're talking about air awareness with Jade Carey, but Sky Blakely should be in this conversation as well. Right here opens up just to connect to that jump, giving her a 10th bonus. Just beautiful.
Yeah, great timing on her tumbling, but look at her leaps here. Not only are they 180, but they're over 180. Shouldn't be a deduction at all for those leap extensions.
And with artistry being a really strong deduction that the judges can take, you can see right here, huge, sort of almost a leap out of bounds.
It's going to be a challenge for Sky, though, to get that difficulty on floor if she keeps just front tumbling, to get that start value up to some of the best in the country, but still outstanding.
Working her way back. First one on floor since that championships a couple of years ago. Rotation 3 continues here in Phoenix. Jade Carey with the lead until that number just came in there. Sky Blakely taking the lead. We do have other gymnasts still in this rotation, but 13.45 the number. Short time ago, Claire Peace, a 17-year-old from Texas, trains their base there in a gymnast training in Texas, has won every U.S. all-around title since 2013. Simone Biles had something to do with it.
Yeah, she's great on the tumbling apparatus, but she has high difficulty on bars too, so certainly one to watch for right here on this event. And a large part because of her lines on all these handstand positions, doing a lot of pirouettes, and those connections, Lori, that we're really looking for from these athletes.
Connections are just the way to rack up that value. Of course, you can put in as difficult of skills as possible, but if you're able to have connections, it also means the technique is done correctly.
Wow, really good. She landed with her feet staggered, and that is really the biggest execution deduction I saw in this routine. And 8.2 execution is very high difficulty. 6.0, really good score for Claire on bars.
Saw Valerie Lukin, her coach, congratulating her after that effort. 14.2, moving into the all-around lead, at least for the moment. But another contender set on bars, Heslie Rivera, John.
Yeah, she does a combination from the high bar to the low bar. And Sam, you mentioned combinations and the value of those. She does something called the Downy, which is valued at an F. Every skill in gymnastics gets a letter grade and points associated with it. An F gets you 0.6 of a point. She does it right to a pack salto, which is a D skill. So she goes from the high bar to the low bar. Very difficult, but again, that's where the value comes from for the top athletes in the world on this event. Yes, you got to do the big skills, but once you start connecting them, like we saw from Suni Lee for years, for example, once you start connecting them, that's when you get to go big time. And she's got a big combination in this routine.
Yeah, and of course it helps the score because the difficulty is added to the execution score. Execution is out of that perfect 10, but the difficulty is really what goes on behind closed doors in their training gym right here. Difficulty plus execution equals their total possible score. And just to put it in perspective, the top difficulty in the world on pretty much all events are a 6.0 or higher. That's what these athletes are working towards.
Yeah, on the bars at the last World Championships, there was really only about 10 in the world that had a 6.0 or higher. Kalia Namour from Algeria, she was the big dog on that event. She was over a 7, but you get a 6 on bars, you're doing something special.
And of course you could plan a certain difficulty, but it might not work out that way in the judges' eyes.
Yeah, if you miss a connection, if you, depending on what skill it is, if you pike your hips, if, you pirouette and it falls too far over the handstand, there's a lot of things that can either get devalued or connections that can be missed. So really, it's not often that you get difficulty that gets knocked down, but if you miss a connection, that's the way to do it. Most of those deductions, or most of that lowered score, comes from an execution score being brought down from the 10.0.
There goes the reigning U.S. bars champ.
Keeping up with this fast rhythm here. Making sure she gets the timing. Oh
my gosh.
Man, that was the new skill that was supposed to be connected. So not only is it going to be a 1-point deduction for the fall, but now she's missing that important new connection she was hoping would positively impact her start value.
Now she can do it again. There was a conversation there with her coach, Valerie Lukin. She could repeat that skill if she wanted to. She did not. So that start value is going to suffer, Sam.
Looks like she's not going to repeat that, John. just finishing the bar routine solid. Looks like she eliminated a couple skills there. Curious how that's going to affect her start value overall. So when she let go, she just didn't quite extend her shoulders enough to get that dowel grip on. She was so close, and I
used to compete this skill, and it's just all about timing, the entire thing. And we saw her shoulders go way too far over the top of that bar. She just didn't sit up fast enough to finish the rotation, to fix that inertia, sending her backwards.
Well, really, the problems came at the beginning of her routine. She rushed her pirouettes, and if you get out of the flow, imagine it's like jumping rope. Once you find that rhythm, it feels effortless, but a mistimed jump really breaks up the whole flow, and that's exactly what it's like on a bar routine. You have to play catch up on each skill, and she couldn't quite adjust quick enough on that release.
Well, this just opens up the all-around race as well. I felt like she was the favorite coming in along with you guys, but that one, certainly, the door is wide open now.
And she was in second going into this rotation, but there's another day, obviously. Dulcie Kaler up on beam now.
This is a really strong event for her. I'll be so excited to see her just get up there, be confident, and hit this routine like I know she can do.
As she said, last season was huge for her. It built her confidence, just seeing her able to get those higher scores.
Those ring jumps can be really difficult. Back leg has to be bent nearly above your forehead.
Strong connection out of that side aerial. When I spoke to her coaches before the meet, they were gushing about how Dulcie is a work talent. Skills don't often come maybe as easily to her as some of the athletes in the gym, but she has the work ethic to make it work, and that's really where we're seeing all of her success come from.
She was a great story last fall at the World Selection Camp. The top all-arounder from that camp would automatically make it to the World Championships, and no one really, including Dulcie, thought that that would be her, but it was. She won that automatic bid to go to the World Championships, and it was quite a moment for her. She made the finals on this event there as well.
Yeah, been a little bit slower this year to come back from an injury. Didn't quite have the classics she wanted to have. This meet is important for her to hopefully repeat her World Championships appearance. Hitting a beam routine like that is a good first step.
That was a really strong event for Dulcie Kaler. Very minimal bobbles. A few that we can put our fingers on, but overall, knowing how hard she's worked to come back. I mean, this was a really strong dismount in terms of no steps on the landing, just a small hop.
Get the number in a moment, but before she competed, it was Lavi Crane, a 15-year-old from Idaho, and now based in Spring, Texas, and her senior U.S. Championships debut here in Phoenix.
She was fourth all around at the Junior World Championships last year. This is her first year senior, really wanting to make a statement. You're going to notice how beautiful she is on this event. Great arm positions. You can see one arm is mirroring the other, and that is really the mark of a great beam worker.
I mean, she's moving with a smoothness and a confidence that I don't see every senior out there have in their routines. For her to be so young and to move like this it's phenomenal.
Yeah, you can see her front foot there was completely sideways, no wobble.
I really do think that's what makes a great beam worker, is someone who knows that every skill is not going to be perfect, but that you are able to self-correct and to make it look as if it was perfect.
Yeah, adjusting without anyone knowing is really the key on this event.
And she did it right there. She could have wobbled. We could have seen her arms flail a lot longer, and she just is able to sink into the beam.
Oh, was really crooked. Didn't go for her dismount. Took the safer route just to make sure she stayed safe. Good decision. But watch her front foot here on this layout. It's completely turned in. Her heels off the beam. She pulls up with her upper body right there. Doesn't even move. Squeezes her core. Spots the end of the beam, which is, as we most of us know, is the #1 rule of beam. Helps her balance.
So 13.35, solid number on beam for Lavi Crane, and that ability to adjust that way normally comes, I would think, with experience. She's 15.
Right, the fact that she's able to do that, and as we just saw, she missed her dismount, and still she's scoring 13.35 in the green. Great time.
There's the number 12.5 on pars for Hesli Rivera, who had some trouble over there. Remember, she was in second place, falls to 4th in the all-around standings.
Yeah, she gave up as much as 2 points in that routine to what she could potentially do if she really smokes it, but we'll have to see if she can dig out of that.
So falls to 4th, but you still have Charlie Bullock to come here in rotation number 3, who had the lead after the second rotation. And she's getting set. That's what she needs to retake that lead.
Charlie's known for her bar routine, but it's important for this event right here for her all-around score. And when I'm watching her in practice, I want to see a little more conviction on her landing.
She might not have the highest start value on this event, so what's important for her is good execution. Can she do this clean, minimal wobbles?
Yeah, slight adjustment at the end, but overall strong. That was a convicted landing, if I'd say so. Good upper body posture when she's landing here.
The most deductions I'm seeing here are sort of sickled or flexed feet. There's very few wobbles.
I like how her rhythm has been consistent from start to finish. She's really moving through this beam routine. Athletes only get 1 minute and 30 seconds on the apparatus, so it's important that every skill has a quick transition into another skill. Wow.
That was a great routine.
That was.
Oh, you saw that big old sigh at the end.
A really good routine for Charlie Bullock.
Came in as a contender to make the world team. People mentioning her name. How about a contender to win the U.S. all-around title?
Yeah, she absolutely could get the job done with routines like that. Of course, it's 2 competitions, so it's 8 routines being combined together. But what a good start for her. And this first series really set the tone for the beam routine for me. The front foot, you can see, adjusted ever so slightly. And just mentally, she continued to move through it, didn't dwell on it.
Right, like you're saying, Sam, there's a lot of different moments that could have become something much bigger if she let it. And instead, she just took a breath, exhaled. Exhaling is so important for the landing, to stop those wobbles from coming through. I'd be incredibly proud of that if I was her.
Starting to really get to know some of those names that'll figure prominently the next couple of years on the road to LA. Their piece right there, Charlie Bullock as well. Terrific so far here in Phoenix. Here to tell you can power up your family movie night. Watch the Super Mario Galaxy movie now, streaming only on Peacock. Families, kids taking in the action here in Phoenix. So rounding out that rotation number 3, Charlie Bullock, really good on balance beam. Look at this, 13.7.
Yeah, lower on that difficulty score, but the execution is above an 8. That's so tough. Really great score for Charlie Bullock.
And so 1 rotation left here. I know it's night 1. There's a night 2 still to come, but Charlie Bullock with the lead. Their piece right there. Sky Blakely also in the mix, and then Jade Carey before Hesley Rivera. The defending champ rounds out the top 5 with one remaining rotation here, the opening day at the championships. Pan Pacific Swimming Championships coming your way on NBC and Peacock. Next week, some of the top names internationally against the top from the U.S. Back here, it's the U.S. Gymnastics Championships that continue. We come down to that final rotation. Here are the standings. Floor, beam, vault, bars left for the top names. Who's got the edge?
Honestly, Claire Peace still has beam left. She's got a high start value, so that'll be tough.
And Sky Blakely on vault, she has the potential to jump up there as well.
Charlie Bullock, that's who you mentioned. Claire Peace, that's who you mentioned, Sam. And the other names we knew would be in the mix, Jade Carey and Sky Blakely as well. And Jade Carey getting set here in this final rotation.
Coming up on the uneven bars, this is not Jade Carey's strongest event, simply due to execution. Her difficulty is actually pretty good.
College gymnastics, she credits to helping her a lot with execution. That is called a Bahardwaj, full twisting pack salto.
I love the way that she's able to do these release moves with such confidence. She really just willingly gets that height. But because she has so much power, she does often miss those handstands, just like that.
Added that full twist in the double layout, increasing the difficulty.
I tell you what, we throw around the word gamer a lot in the world of sports, but that bar routine is just, in a nutshell, is what Jade Carey is all about. She is such a gamer. She just doesn't make mistakes. Maybe this isn't going to be a great event for her and a great score, but she ain't going to miss it. She goes up there and hits every time. It's amazing.
Yeah, John, she said that after she took her break, coming back, she was so frustrated on this event in particular that she couldn't do the basic skills. But man, thinking about that moment for her in December to now, what a good routine she's been able to put together in such short time.
Short time, and it's also part of a long-term plan. I mean, it's step by step right now, adding difficulty every event for her.
Going for her third Olympics, let me tell you, the plan is something her and her dad, who's her head coach, have really ironed out over the years. So I know they have a lot of things in store for the future.
And there was a big motivation to come here and compete back in her hometown. She does plan on upgrading a lot of these events.
It was funny, it got to the point this week when it would be mentioned, she'd kind of smile or smirk because it had been talked about so much that she was back in Phoenix competing. But grew up about 30 minutes from here and in this building quite often, as a matter of fact, because they had a close family friend who was the mascot for the Phoenix Suns. So they would come to a lot of games right here in Mortgage Matchup Center. It wasn't called that back in the day.
I think there's a lot of moments that she's been able to be reflective, and I asked her what's the difference between 18-year-old Jade to now, and she said, you know, it's just, I learned that it's not, doesn't have to be that serious, and you could see her just laughing on the side, and I think there's a comfort in her competitions that is really giving her an edge in this time around.
Confidence and experience just plays such a huge role in being able to be a great competitor for Team USA. And that's why we keep seeing Jade Carey's name over and over throughout the quads, is because she is able to pace herself and she knows that quality over quantity is starting to become really important as she gets a bit older. And yet here she is with some monster difficulty on her best events.
Yeah. Over to vault now. In third, heading into this final rotation, is Sky Blakely.
And I think the key for her here is she's going to get big air. She's got a big vault. Back in 2024, she had that Chung vault that we've been talking about, and it was tremendous. Big reason why she was virtually a lock for that team. She's not going to do it here, but she gets big air, and the key for her is how can she control that landing? If you're talking about can she move up into the top spot, it's got to be a clean landing, maybe even a perfect landing. She will start from a 14.8. So that's the perfect score should she do the vault perfect. Won't get that, but She's really going to have to push that 14 number if she wants to try to move ahead of Claire, especially Claire, because beam going to be a higher scoring event for her than it will be on floor for Charlie.
Yeah, John, we're talking a lot about this Chung vault. Why is it important? Well, the start value is 0.8 more. That's almost starting where everybody else has fallen. A fall is 1 point, so it's a really significant advantage in the overall score. Wow.
Whoa.
She knew exactly where she was in the air, John.
That was great. That was fantastic. I could see the full twist in that too. That was a big vault.
Watch how she waits to twist off the table. She pops, waits, now she twists. That really shows all of us that she's ready for another full twist, which is essentially called the Chung vault. We know that she's working towards that. We've seen her do it, and it is beautiful.
Coach loves it. The two-time U.S. vault silver medalist, Sky Blakely, with that effort here in the final rotation of day one.
Training for this championships at Florida with Owen Field and Jenny Rowland.
All right, we wait for Claire Peace, who's right in contention here with one event left. And it will be on beam. Blakely with a 14.2. That's the number. So moves into the lead right now in the all-around. And Claire now getting set over on balance beam in her final event of the night.
Yeah, this is an important routine for Claire. She is an athlete, I would say, is a beamer. That means she has a really good sense of how to adjust quickly on this event. And similar to some of the athletes we've seen, does a good job moving through. But this wolf turn is her first test. Keeping her leg really high. That's what the judges want to see.
With that vault from Sky Blakely, that currently moves her into the top spot. Claire Peace needs better than a 13.9 to move ahead of Sky Blakely. Certainly doable for her, but she's got to perform well. Can't have mistakes.
We saw her do that 3-skill combination ending with an anodi, not a skill that you see often due to how difficult it can be. Trying to touch over right here, full twisting back. Oh, okay, only did a back handspring here tonight, but we saw her train it, and that would just up that difficulty even more. So far, very clean routine for her.
Really solid arm positions on all of her finishes of these skills.
Ronald Gray, the World Champion Center on floor. Now on the even bars for Pacific Ring, Simone Rose.
Wow. Everyone's really put their best foot forward tonight.
That was a really good routine. She needs better than a 13.9 to pass Sky Blakely.
What do you think, Sam?
Man, it's going to be close. I'm curious what they're going to do with her her start value score.
Highest score tonight's a 13.75, by the way. On this
one of the technical leads said that a lot of the deductions are coming because U.S. athletes are not going above that 180. Man, 180 is a straight line, and that is well above 180. So athletes like Claire Peace and Heslie Rivera are not getting that deduction that some of the U.S. athletes are, which makes them strong contenders to score well internationally.
I absolutely think that she can get the score that she needs in order to take first place.
Yeah, very clean. Not really any second guessing or wobbling. Legs were split in the slow-mo, but reminding you, we're watching it in slow motion. The judges don't get that luxury, so it's all up to what they're seeing in real time. That's what's going to be the score.
So we wait on that number for her and that effort over on bars. Jade Carey a 13.35 here in this final rotation. Into second place for right now behind Sky Blakely, you see in the upper left. Meanwhile, Caroline Moreau over on floor exercise.
Now on floor for Texas Springs, Caroline Moreau.
Really curious to see if she's going to be doing her upgraded first pass. That's a full twisting double layout.
The same pass we saw Jade Carey do as well.
Went with a very clean double layout, did not upgrade it with the twist.
It was gorgeous though, she could have.
A lot of these coaches are weighing the risk versus reward when they're deciding whether to go for the upgrades or not. You have to stay healthy, so if it's not 100% confident, you don't want to take the risk.
Pacing is everything.
Caroline keeps her goals on a sticky note in her bathroom, one of them being World Championships. This is step one, making the national team from this U.S. Championships.
Did you ever do that? Reminder?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
You want to see your goals every single day, even if it's in the background.
All right, so we'll get that number in a little bit. Waiting on that number. Here it is,
Oh,
13-9 for Claire Peace. And guess what? Look at upper left. It is a tie for first place right now. Not done yet in this final rotation. Reminder, the USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to inspire world-class achievement at every level. To learn more and give a gift, visit usagymfoundation.org. Thank you for helping shape the future of gymnastics. It is on display here in Phoenix, and right now the tie at the top. Claire Peace, Sky Blakely, as this fourth and final rotation continues. So nothing settled yet. And of course, at the end of this night, nothing overall will be settled. Got another day of competition.
Exciting full round, another full 4 events. Multiple opportunities to climb on top and also opportunities for those mistakes to come through.
Leslie Rivera in the mix, the defending champ. She will finish up on balance beam. Good with the hug. Last words before this final event.
Yeah, she told us that she's been working on a 6.465 start value. If she got credit for that or close to that, it will definitely be the highest start value on this event of the night.
But the pressure is on. Certainly you have day 2, but it doesn't feel like you can afford 2 major breaks and think you're going to walk out of here a national champion. Got to be good here.
A really good event for Hesley. She's dynamic, but she lands really well on the beam, especially that difficult back handspring layout.
A lot of this routine relies on connection bonus, which means not only does every skill have to be perfect, but all her landings have to be perfect because they flow from one thing to the next. If she breaks that connection, her difficulty goes down, and then obviously her score goes down. So far, she's doing a great job with this routine.
Nicely flowing all the way through. Here's the dismount, double pike. Beautiful.
Great finish to this competition for her.
That was fantastic. In a clutch moment, pressure was on. You've got to hit if you want to keep the national championship hopes alive, and man, she delivered.
This is a really crucial part of her routine. It's a back handspring layout. When she's in this vertical position, you want your hips extremely flat. That's what makes it a layout. If they're piked at all, then it gets devalued to a piked body position, and it actually takes away 3/10 from her start value. So that series alone is one of the most important parts of that routine, and if I was a judge, I'd give her that layout position. Nicely done.
May come down to this night one to Charlie Bullock and what she does on floor. You saw the numbers she would need to lead.
Even when she was a junior, I loved watching her floor routine. She really caught my eye with her artistry.
This pass is newer. The whip full into a double back, and you couldn't tell that it's new. Very well done. She said she's still adjusting to this senior level mentality. She still feels so young. That athletes here have Olympic rings tattoo, but man, she just dominated day one, Terry.
She's adjusting quickly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working. What a night to open up here for Charlie Bullock.
I loved watching her get into this first pass. Here we're looking at full twisting double back. Spots it like a half, which is lovely. Helps her take a lot of control over that landing. Now her biggest deduction I noticed was right here on this landing. Huge step forwards. Unfortunately, if she wants that 13.65, I think that's where they're gonna pull from it and why she might not get that score.
Sky Blakely cheering.
Yeah, a common theme when we were talking to the athletes is just how much camaraderie they had between each other. And you see Sky, who's a veteran, and you know Charlie Bullock looks up to Sky, how cool is that?
Just so exciting. You even saw, in the background of seeing Sky's shoulders, and then as soon as Charlie did that last pass, her eyes widened and she looked to Sky almost to be like, did you see that?
You did catch that, right? You saw me do that.
You saw me do that?
Yeah.
Charlie's really, there's the score.
Yeah.
So she needed 13.65 to take the lead, 13.45, and it won't happen. Sky Blakely and Claire Peace still the co-leaders. Risa Sponda now on floor.
Yeah, this is a really important routine. She could be the U.S. floor champion if she hits this well. Very solid double-double to get things going.
And not just floor champion, Sam. This is an event. If she's going to be at the World Championships, this is going to be the biggest reason why.
Yeah, her difficulty score was higher than any other athletes at the floor finals at World Championships last year. Oh, money. That was smooth.
It was practically perfect.
coaches told me they put together a fitness plan that she goes to after practice is done, and she's noticed it's made a significant difference in her strength and stamina, especially on events like this right here. Whatever she's doing, it's working.
It is definitely working. Your best event, floor exercise, and that goal of winning a medal at the World Championships. Got to get there first in this major step here in night one. So Reese Esponda, the 17-year-old from Montana, here at the National Championships, closing out this final rotation. How about these two, though? Sky Blakely and Claire Peace tied at the top at the end of this opening night. Think about Claire Peace, too, where she's been, where she's come from. A year ago, she was 15th after the opening day of the U.S. Championships, and now sharing the lead. Pretty impressive, the stride she has made. We'll come back to wrap things up in just a moment. The 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. By Prevagen. And by Xfinity. Xfinity sticks the landing every time. Same-day Wi-Fi, same price for 5 years. Close it out here in Phoenix on night one. Yeah, it's tie at the top. Sky Blakely and that comeback towards LA, and Claire Peace tied 55.6 at the top of the leaderboard. As we check out the gold medal moment presented by Xfinity, certainly some of the highlights from tonight.
Yeah, really great bar routine, Lori.
I just loved seeing her come out here and absolutely attack every single event. It's what we know Sky Blakely is capable of doing.
Claire Peace had so much power, but that attention to detail is really what helped her in the all-around standings.
Xfinity's 5-year price guarantee keeps your internet steady and reliable, and the two co-leaders are standing by with Brittany.
And they were so focused on their individual routines, had no idea that they were tied at the top. Well done, Lady Sky. I'll start with you. Full circle moment for you coming back to the all-around. Just describe the feeling walking off of you have hit 4 for 4 after that vault today.
I was just really excited and happy to even have the opportunity to be here and for it to go well today. Just a huge smile on my face. I think I almost cried a little bit, but not today. But just happy.
You'll save the tears for later. Happy tears, no doubt about that. Claire, for you, confident. I saw you focus the entire evening. What was really clicking for you?
So I'm really honored to be here, and I feel like just my positive attitude throughout the whole meet really helped me and kept me really confident.
For you too, what sort of challenge does this do? Being at the top, there's not much in between the top three. How do you help each other out with that competition?
Just encouraging each other. I mean, we all have the same goals of just going as far as we can, and it's just, we all love each other, we're all friends, so it's just encouraging and just staying on our own path.
You said with your teammates, they really lift you up. How does that support help?
I feel like really leaning on each other when we need it and encouraging each other throughout the whole meet really helps us a lot, seeing a smile on each other's face.
No doubt about it. Well done, ladies. Tied at the top after night one, Terry.
Could not get any closer than it is right now. Looking ahead to the second day of competition, those two leading the way. So that does it for day one here in Phoenix. Tune in Sunday at 6 Eastern on NBC for the final day of the Women's Championship. You can watch all the routines at USA Gymnastics YouTube channel after the broadcast. Great opening night for the women here for Sam Pescic, Lori Hernandez, John Roethlisberger, Brittany Urt, and our entire crew. I'm Terry Gannon saying so long for now from Phoenix, Arizona, 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships.